Welcome into Bills Tonight Digital, presented by ECMC. Maddy Glab here with the former Bill Fred Jackson, and the Bills beat the Dolphins 37-20. They're now 7-3 on the season, the best record through 10 games since 1999. So, Fred, what stood out to you today with the win?
I think the way they played on both sides of the ball. They made plays on both offense and defense when they needed to, and they really came out and just overpowered the Dolphin team that we figured they would come out and get a win in.
All right, who gets the game ball for you today? Because the offense and defense, like you said, they both played really well at certain points in the game.
John Brown, a.k.a. Smokes, got to get my game ball of the day.
He had a great day. He had 137 receiving yards off 9 catches, 2 touchdowns. How is he continuously proving that he is more than a deep ball threat on this Bills offense?
I think that's exactly it. He's showing that. He's showing that he can run crisp routes. He's showing that he can get open, in intermediate routes. In first, third, and shorts, he's a guy that you can depend on. So as long as he continues to do things like that and continues to be a viable weapon for Josh, it's just going to allow this team to make some plays on offense.
424 total yards on offense, a lot of sacks out of this defense. Sean McDermott's got to be pretty happy after this game. Let's hear what he had to say after the game. He's on the podium right now.
Okay, I thought it was a good, hard-fought victory. Great leadership during the week. I thought the guys did a good job getting back to who we are. It all started during the week with our week of preparation, our week of practice, and again, the leadership. I thought they came out defensively, played physical and aggressive early in the game, and then put them in some unfavorable situations. And then offensively, we moved the ball early, came up 3 points on the first drive, which was important for us to get into a rhythm. And then special teams did some good things. Obviously, some things that weren't good enough, and we've got to address those on tape this coming week. So with that, I'll open it up to your questions.
John, Josh had mentioned the kind of play fearless mantra, a message that had come from, he said, the coaching staff during the course of the week. How do you feel they responded to that?
Yeah, I felt that they played aggressive. So, 37 points. It's our highest total to this point. So again, a lot we can learn from this tape as we're continue to grow as a football team. Great fan support today again. What fans support their team like the Buffalo Bills fans? I don't think there's any fan base out there that does it. Just incredible.
How do you feel Josh responded individually in terms of his game coming off the situation?
Yeah, I thought he played well. There's certainly, again, plays he wants back. There's 60-some plays roughly in the game. There's going to be some of those, So took care of the football. Made some big-time plays. John Brown showed up. I thought our offensive line did a good job at the line of scrimmage. I thought the run game went quiet for a series or two there, but we got to go them again. And certainly a lot we can learn from. I know Motor. We had the fumbles there, so he'll learn from that. And we'll continue to move forward.
What went into the decision to have Brian Daywell calling plays from upstairs?
He's been there before. Just another perspective, another set of eyes upstairs. That's basically it.
How do you think that affected the offense today, or how do you think that paid off?
All little things help, here and there. So, I'll talk to Brian and see if he liked being up there, and in terms of what he's able to see. I know calling it. I used to call the defense from up there, and you can see a lot. You guys know a lot of you guys stand up there, and it's hard to see from the sideline. I know it shouldn't be, but it is. And so, look, the results were what they were, and we got to go back to the drawing board this week and get ready for a tough opponent coming in.
Sean, it seemed like obviously they saw you with the first game, but it looked like Josh was a lot more comfortable today. He'd seen that team before, and he just looked like he was more comfortable, more poised. Would you believe that was maybe the case today?
Yeah, possibly. That's probably a better question for Josh out directly. I thought our offensive line did a really good job giving him time, and that's important for any quarterback.
Your defense really played well. They sacked Fitzpatrick I don't know how many times. They really were up to the task.
Well, they were aggressive. And they had a great week of preparation, like I said a few minutes ago. That's really where it starts. That's you go back and you say, why did we get the results that we got? And you double down on those habits, and those are good things.
A lot of blitz calls, though, Coach. I know you and Leslie don't blitz a ton, but it seemed like you guys really were turning it up there with sending extra people today.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, just the overall aggressiveness, I think overall, Chris, was where it needed to be. And I thought Tremaine did a great job from the communication standpoint, from a leadership standpoint. The front looked like, you can come out and knock out the run, and then to pick up, to affect the quarterback the way we were able to. That starts with the front and coverage working together, complementing one another. And And so, it turned into a passing game.
You're talking about some of that timing element, because there was some delayed rushes by he and Milano today.
Yeah.
It looked like they were timing that up effectively. Would
Yeah,
you
really,
agree
they
with
did
that,
a really
or-
good job. Really good job. And again, it goes back to their preparation, what they saw on film, and the amount of time that they spent together in the film room this week. It's key.
Sean, on the onside kick, I know it's a surprise play, and they executed it very
Yeah.
well. But when you're in that situation, second quarter, are you even thinking about it, or was it just a bad play by you to not be ready for that?
No, listen, you can ask the guys. We worked about every gadget, type of play or concept, whether it was against our defense or coming from their special teams. Great job executing by them.
How do you balance enjoying, the success that you had today, but also impressing upon the guys the importance of improving, taking advantage of opportunities?
Yeah.
3 field goals. I mean, you score in your first 4 drives, but 3 are field goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they'll probably tell you. They know me well enough that they don't have to worry about that with me. So we celebrate for 24 hours, and I'll be sure to let them know what we can improve on.
Coach, you had gave Kevin Johnson some opportunities in there, rotating
Yeah.
in and out with Levi.
Yeah.
Just the decision behind kind of mixing and matching.
Yeah, just hey, working both players in there. Kevin, we have a lot of confidence in, and we have a lot of confidence in Levi, and I think that's good for both of them, and just changes the look sometimes for the opponent, and so we were doing some of that at some other positions as well, and that's healthy for us, and it goes back to just putting the team first, and I really appreciate that about those guys.
How about Stephen Hauschka, especially getting 1 from 50?
Yeah, big time. I mean, to come out first kick, and he's 50 yards or whatever it was there, and a lot of confidence, like I said last week after the game, in Stephen, and he had a great week. Very aggressive in his approach, which I appreciate.
What was the decision to challenge the fumble that was originally ruled incomplete?
Yeah, just those are always every challenge. Is tight. And that's why they're challenges. That's because the referees do such a great job, and those challenges become tight situations. It could go one way or the other, and just felt like he had taken enough steps with the ball and is in control, and it was a big play on top of that. So in terms of the gain that they had versus the gain and then the resulting fumble recovery by us, right, to get the ball back before half, knowing that they were getting the ball after half as well.
And Josh, for the offense
Got
to take
points.
advantage of that, to get
it was
points
big.
off it, too.
That was big, yeah, for sure.
Coach, you've talked a couple times, you come in here saying the team hasn't played 60 minutes, but from the opening drive to forcing a 3 and out to the goal line stand there at their end, how proud are you of the way that this team played from start to finish?
Yeah, no, I thought they had the eye of the tiger. They really did, and that, those guys will tell you it wasn't an easy week, and so that just shows the amount of resiliency in the group and the amount of leadership, the player-driven leadership, not my leadership, their leadership, and they take a lot of pride in their work.
How complete a performance do you consider this?
Let me look at the tape. I'll find something in there. Yeah, there's plenty that we can improve on, to his question earlier. Yeah.
I was going to ask you about the kick coverage, too.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's right off the bat. We give up 2 big plays, one the kick return and the third down completion. So we've got to look at that and continue to improve.
You had more than 30 carries today. Was that plan coming in? Was there an emphasis on getting the ground game more involved, or is that just game flow?
Just game plan, really, more than anything. Game plan, but that's good. I mean, that's healthy. We can control the line of scrimmage. Again, I credit the offensive line and defensive line, and that's, that's important that we can control the line of scrimmage. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
It wouldn't be Sean McDermott unless he said there's always things to improve on, even in a 37-20 win.
Yeah, and he's right. You enjoy it for 24 hours, and then you come back in and see what it is you can improve on.
Well, we saw Brian Daboll up in the box calling the offense for the first time this season, and from being an NFL player and playing football for your entire life, what's the difference from being on the sideline versus in the box?
Well, it's like he said, you can see more from up there. From the sideline, you can see a lot of things, but when you're up in the skybox, you can see all 22 guys at the same time. When you're down on the field, you're kind of focusing on one area of the field, and that kind of cuts off your view from everything else. And so for Daboll, I'm sure he saw things where he felt like he can get different guys involved, and it may be something that he wants to go back to. Whether that's the case or not, it worked for him today.
Did you see anything different out of the offense today? It looked like they started with the run and then opened up the passing game through the run.
Yeah, it looked like they were more aggressive. I get to count 3 or 4 balls that they threw down to John Brown, and trying to get him involved in deep passes. So it definitely looked like they were going after Miami, wanted to get those guys on their heels and attack them from the beginning. And it was a team that they felt like that they can take advantage of, and that's what they did when they came out the gates today.
Yeah, a lot of 11 personnel sets, 3 wide receivers. It looked like it worked for the offense today. Well, let's hear from Josh Allen, the quarterback, who's on the podium.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey, John. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
How did it feel to kind of be productive, like right out of the gate, just moving the ball? And I know you would have preferred touchdowns early, but you're just putting points up. First 4 drives there.
Yeah, we were doing a pretty good job of keeping the tempo at where we wanted it. Our guys did a great job of protecting, running the ball. Obviously we want to get down there. We want to score 7 or score 6, but we'll take 3. We'll take moving the ball and finding productive plays, finding completions any day of the week, and our defense played outstanding today as well.
What about no huddle and just the rhythm? Do you feel like there's just a different rhythm when you guys turn to that for your offense? Do you feel it's a different rhythm?
Yeah, I do. I think it's it's a little easier for me to kind of see everything and make some checks at the line and try to get ourselves in a good enough situation where we can call a play and be okay with it. And we had some pretty good answers today, and like I said, our guys ran the ball hard. Our big guys did a good job of protecting it and moving the ball up front and moving the line of scrimmage. So hats off to them. They played fantastic.
Describe how your on-field rapport is developing now, more than halfway through the season with
Say it again?
with John Brown.
Yeah.
Your on-field rapport seems to be developing. How is that coming along?
Yeah, I mean he's been fantastic for us. Just kind of how he goes about each and every day. He goes and attacks. All-time teammate, a guy that nobody can say anything bad about. Just a guy that goes in and works and wants to get better and doesn't care about stats, doesn't care about scoring touchdowns. He cares about winning. And when you have a recipe like that, you're determined for success. And I wouldn't trade him for anybody.
What about your game? About playing fearless during the course of the week, coming off the performance in Cleveland. Looking back at this one right now and right out of it, how do you feel?
I feel good. Obviously putting 37 points up is great. Still a few things that I got to clean up, a few easy misses here or there. Cleaning up some of the short stuff on front padding and stuff like that, and giving ourselves an opportunity to get some run after the catch. So I got to be better there. But again, I don't think we allowed a sack today. So shout out to the big guys, man. They played their butts off, and we'll enjoy this one for tonight and focus on Denver tomorrow.
Gosh, it looked like on the first one to John Brown, you were able to hold the safety there. Is that? Can you just kind of walk me through that? It was a zone coverage, right?
Yeah. Doing some film work. And just understanding what that safety backside did when they went to their cover 2. He was getting a little nosy, so I kept my eyes to the left, gave a little punt fake. Cover 2, John, converted his route and ran a great route, and he did the rest.
He was getting covered by Needham there for most of it, but then he got hurt, and it looked like they changed their coverage a little bit. Did you and John kind of get on the same page and say we might even have more opportunities?
We wanted to try to feed him the ball, and it didn't really matter who was out there. We didn't really care about that. We just wanted to find ways to get our playmakers the ball, and we did a good job of that today. And Coach Dable called an amazing game, so I'm happy for him and happy for kind of how we performed today.
And how smooth was the new line of communication, so to speak, with
there was nothing,
Ken on the sideline?
Nothing different there. Coach Dorsey's he's just a part of Coach Dable. That's just kind of how I look at it. They're on sync. Just the only difference is I got to talk in the phone instead of talking to Dable. So there's a couple times where maybe I didn't hear the play loud enough, and I'm trying to rewind him. I don't know where to look and try to get his attention, but it was very smooth today. It worked out. So that'll probably be what we do from here on out, and I really think it's due to Dable's mustaches as well.
Hey, Josh, having played a month ago, it looked like, from above at least, you seemed much more confident and poised in what you were seeing because you'd just seen them. Was that at all at play today?
Listen, you go week to week and something different every week. The Dolphins, they do a good job of game planning for teams, and they've been playing really good football the last 4 weeks. So credit to them. They still, that's a good team we just played, and just the way that the flow of the game, how it was going, we got into a pretty good feel. Did the up-tempo stuff and had some success, and we just wanted to keep doing that.
How important is that at this time, Josh, really? I mean, given the way things have gone for a lot of the season, coming off the performance in Cleveland, to put up a season high in terms of points?
Yeah, I mean, they remember November. Coach Bowl preached that at Wyoming, and there's a lot of truth to that. We got to put together a good back half of the season and win as many games as we can, and try to put ourselves in position to get into the playoffs.
Josh, is this the kind of performance that, especially when you got rolling, scoring on 4 straight drives, that you could take a deep breath almost on the sideline? Just kind of seemed like the game slowed down a little bit.
A little bit, but we don't want to get content in what we do. Being up, however we were, they got a good quarterback over there that's no stranger to being in those types of situations and rallying a team and bringing them back. So we understood what we had to do. We wanted to continue to move the ball and try to put up as many points as we could, and like I said, that's what we tried to do.
You guys combined for more than 30 carries today. How did that affect your game, the success on the ground? And
it was great. Like I said, our big guys did a great job, and I think kind of moving to what we did today, it allowed ourselves to really be put in a position where we had numbers on our side, and can't tell you if that's what we're going to do from here on out, but felt very comfortable doing it, and our guys responded, and our guys that were carrying the rock did a great job of that too.
Josh, what's the biggest difference when the offense is clicking and maybe some of the times when you guys stall and you struggle?
To be honest, it usually comes down to, minute, minor details. Missing Frank out of the backfield, a throw here or there, a decision that I make here or there, and I'm trying to put my guys and our guys into a situation where it's going to be friendly for our football team, and when we do that, I got to be better on finding completions and being able to move the ball on third down, and especially early down production too, and just finding those completions that aren't putting us in a third and long situation.
How do you balance the success you had today with some of the shortcomings, like you mentioned, missing Frank on that?
Listen, I never too high, never too low. That's kind of how I like to look at it, and it's great that we won today, and it's great that we got to number 7. But again, we're looking for number 8 now. So got to learn, got to grow, got to continue to find places where we can get better at.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, no turnovers out of the offense. That's the 3rd straight game this team has had no turnovers, and with that, 2 Josh Allen touchdowns. That's the first time that's been done in 5 straight games, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Since 2015, the last guy to do that, Russell Wilson. So you can see Allen progressing. He's completed 63.6% of his passes today. The offense was clicking. He looked very clean.
Yeah, and it's whenever you're having production like that from the guy that's running the show, it allows you to put up 37 points. It allows you to make plays when you're out there on offense. So kudos to him, spreading the ball around, making smart decisions, the offensive line protecting him. They got the running game going. He's making plays with his feet as well. All things that, are the recipe to winning football games, and it's one of the reasons, or the main reason they were able to do so today.
Yeah, and it really started at the line of scrimmage, offensive line and defensive line. There's a reason why people say this game is won in the trenches.
Yeah, when the big uglies are protecting you like he got protected today, you've seen there was times that he's standing back there, and he's back there forever. So whenever he can stand back there like that and he has the weapons to choose to get the ball to and distribute throughout the field, he's going to make some plays for him. So kudos to those guys. And on the other side of the ball, the defense had Fitz running all over the place, made him uncomfortable. And anytime you do that to an opposing quarterback, it gives you a chance to win games as well.
Yeah, Josh Allen had a lot of the time in the pocket. Ryan Fitzpatrick, not so much time in the pocket today. Hey, let's take a look at the highlights from today's win. A beautiful day in Miami, no snow on the ground there. Bills leading 6-0 in the second quarter. Josh Allen finds John Brown down the sideline for 40 yards and the touchdown, 13-0 Buffalo. After a third Buffalo field goal, Kalen Ballage gets the Dolphins on the board with a 2-yard touchdown. But Josh Allen comes right back with a 23-yard touchdown over the middle, and the Bills lead 23-7. The ensuing kickoff, Jakeem Grant returns at 101 yards for a touchdown. It cuts the Bills' lead to 23-14 at the break. The Dolphins finding a way to score. Third quarter, Josh Allen scrambles and runs it in from 8 yards out here. He sees space. He's going to the end zone. 30-14 Buffalo. Early in the fourth quarter, Jakeem Grant again takes the wildcat snap. 7 yards for a touchdown. And then it's John Brown who would answer back, find the end zone. 37-20, Buffalo would win this game. And let's take a look at the scoreboard. Allen, 63.6% of his passes completed, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns. Devin Singletary, 75 yards on the ground. John Brown, 137 receiving yards. Tremaine Edmonds, 12 tackles, a half sack, 2 quarterback hits, and 1 pass defended. Wow, what a game for him. 12 tackles, a half a sack. The way that he is being confident, the quarterback of this defense in his second year, I mean, progressing like a pro.
Yeah, and you can tell that they put a lot on his plate, and he's answering the bell. There was just a lot of blitzes and things like that called by Leslie Fletcher today, and the guys feasted on it. You know, they made a lot of plays, made Fitz uncomfortable, and whenever you have those guys playing like that on defense, it's the recipe for winning football games. They have carried this team throughout the season, and they continue to do so on defense.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many blitz calls from this defense. Going into this game, Buffalo was 18th when it came to sacking a quarterback on defense. So do you think this blitz calling is working for this defense? And maybe it's something we see more going forward. I mean, they limited Miami to just 23 rushing yards in this game.
Yeah, and it had to be something they seen that they were able to see on film. Coming into the game, it was definitely in the game plan. We want to heat this guy up. We want to make him uncomfortable, take away a lot of things from him, and they were able to do so today. So I'm sure it's something they'll consider moving forward. If it's something that they see that they can take advantage of watching film, I wouldn't be surprised if it is a trend that they continue to do.
Let's talk about the offense again. So coming into this game, John Brown had 680 receiving yards, has already broke a lot of records when it comes to being a Buffalo Bill. Today he has 137 yards, so 817 on the season. That's the most through 10 games by a Bill. He came into this team, was averaging around 35 yards a game on his last team. Now is up about 75, going to be more after this game. What wrinkle does this guy add to the offense?
He's just a guy that makes plays. It doesn't matter where they put him. They put him in the slot, put him outside. He's going to run the route, and he's going to try and win, and that's one of the things that you love. A guy that you can plug wherever, and he's going to go out and make plays. And let's give everybody else credit too. Mm-hmm. You know, his other running mates at receiver are doing some amazing things, allowing him to be in one-on-one coverages. So when you got all those guys working in conjunction like that, it makes it hard to stop a guy of his caliber. And Josh just loves him. He trusts him. He is his go-to guy. And when you have a go-to guy like that, it makes your job a lot easier. So he's going to continue to feed him, and he's going to continue to make some plays for this team. So kudos to both of those guys.
John Brown was in the locker room after the game. Let's hear what Smoke had to say.
What about you, your personal game? I mean, 130-something yards, touchdowns. You know, did you feel more comfortable? Did you guys have a matchup you exploited?
Yeah, I felt more comfortable, and Josh just made great reads and good decisions.
John, we heard Sean's message earlier in the week was play fearless. Was that what we saw on display here this afternoon?
Oh yes, most definitely. To play fearless, and Tremaine, he gave a speech yesterday, and it was time to show them what we can do.
They elected an undrafted rookie shadow you to start the game. Were you kind of looking at that and saying, okay, we have opportunities here to kind of do some things on him?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. But if you look at the film, the dude can really play. He's pretty good. And, I got so much respect for him. But, you got to challenge on people sometimes. And, I played pretty good. And, he made a few plays.
When he went out hurt, did that change their coverage scheme at all? Or did they kind of play the same way throughout?
They kind of changed the coverage scheme.
What was the gist of what Tremaine said to you guys yesterday?
Oh, it's just time for us to, play our game and, play fast and leave no doubt behind.
What was the reaction? What was the feeling you guys had after listening to all that?
Oh, everybody was, amped up and ready to go.
Is that unusual for, I know he's a captain, but or a second-year guy, a middle linebacker guy who runs the defense. Is that still unusual for the guy that young to be stepping in front of the team like that?
Yeah, most definitely. You barely hear Tremaine talk, so, I was kind of, shocked by that.
Is it more special for you to do it here in Miami, your hometown?
No, not at all. I'm, wherever I play at, but, I had 40 kids in the stands, with all A's, to get them motivation. And, I'm glad I was able to play good in front of them and, able to get them hope.
What was that? Where were the kids from? What was it?
you know, all over Miami. You know, anybody I have that was friends on Facebook with me, kids had, you know, all age. You know, I got like 40 tickets to the game.
It's a first touchdown.
40 tickets to the game for John Brown. There's a lot of Florida Bills on this team. What do you think it means to go back and play at home? I mean, John Brown, Devin Singletary going back home for the first time in his NFL career to play in front of, I'm sure, a lot of family.
Yeah, and he can downplay it as much as he wants to, but as players, we look forward to stuff like that. We love going home and love competing in front of our home crowd. And when you go get 40 tickets, you get those 40 tickets for a reason. You know, you want to go out and produce, and it was great to see him do that. You know, like he said, he gave those guys hope. You know, they want to be like him when they grow up, and it's great for him to go out and produce and put a show on for them. So he can downplay it, but even when he said no, he had a big smile on his face that he was able to come back, you know, home and play as well as he did today.
Yeah, it's definitely bigger than football when you have kids from back home saying, I want to be like John Brown, I want to be like Devin Singletary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's great for those guys to go out and produce and make plays for, you know, all those kids that look up to him.
If we're being nitpicky, is there anything in this game that stood out to you that you think, okay, they need to go back to the drawing board and get this fixed before the Broncos come to New Era Field next week?
Well, I mean, the only thing that I can nitpick on as a running back is the 2 fumbles by Devin Singletary. That's something, you know, if it's a head thing, you know, he'll get it figured out, you know, and pay attention to what he's got to do. And I'm sure in the coaching room, they'll look at that. In the running back room, he'll pay attention to it. But if that's the only thing I can nitpick. You're playing against an NFL team. There's going to be things that they do well that you can't overcome. So that is the only thing I think you can take care of as a player.
Yeah, I also thought it was interesting. Buffalo had, they were 5 of 14 on third down, so that's, again, 35%-ish, but they were able to score 37 points off of just converting 5 out of 14 third down. So pretty good with that. Of course, you'd like to see that up a little bit more, but.
Yeah, and I think they played well today. You know, they played against a team that you figured they were going to win. You were hoping that they would come out and establish what they wanted to get done and get it done and come home with a W. And that's exactly what they were able to do, so you're happy about the performance.
For more highlights, more breakdown of this game analysis, post-game sound, make sure you head to MSG at 11:30 for Bills tonight. For Fred Jackson, I'm Maddy Glab. We will see you next week.